The Disappointment by Aphra Behn. One day, the amorous Leander, by an impatient passion swayed, surprised fair Chloris, that loved maid, who could defend herself no longer. All things did with his love conspire, the gilded planet of the day, in his gay chariot, drawn by fire, was now descending to the sea, and left no light to guide the world, but what from Chloris' brighter eyes was hurled. In a lone thicket made for love, silent as yielding maids consent, she, with a charming languishment, permits his force, yet gently strove. Her hands his bosom softly meet, but not to put him back designed, rather to draw him on inclined, whilst he lay trembling at her feet. Resistance 'tis too late to show. She wants the power to say, "Ah, what do you do?" Her bright eyes sweat, and yet severe, where love and shame confusedly strive. Fresh vigor to Leander give, and whispering softly in his ear, she cried, "Cease, cease your vain desire, or I'll call out. What would you do? My dearer honor, even to you, I cannot, must not give. Retire, or take that life whose chiefest part I gave you with the conquest of my heart." But he, as much unused to fear as he was capable of love, the blessed minutes to improve, kisses her lips, her neck, her hair. Each touch her new desires alarms. His burning, trembling hand he pressed upon her melting, snowy breast, while she lay panting in his arms. All her unguarded beauties lie, the spoils and trophies of the enemy. And now, without respect or fear, he seeks the objects of his vows. His love no modesty allows. By swift degrees advancing where his daring hand that altar seized, where gods of love do sacrifice, that awful throne, that paradise, where rage is tamed and anger pleased, that living fountain from whose trills the melted soul in liquid drops distills. Her balmy lips encountering his, their bodies as their souls are joined, where both in transports were confined, extend themselves upon the moss. Chloris, half dead and breathless, lay. Her eyes appeared like humid light, such as divides the day and night, or falling stars whose fires decay. And now no signs of life she shows, but what in short breath sighs returns and goes. He saw how at her length she lay. He saw her rising bosom bare, her loose thin robes, through which appear a shape designed for love and play, abandoned by her pride and shame. She does her softest sweets dispense, offering her virgin innocence, a victim to love's sacred flame, whilst the o'er-ravished shepherd lies, unable to perform the sacrifice. Ready to taste 1,000 joys, thee too transported hapless swain found the vast pleasure turn to pain. Pleasure which too much love destroys, the willing garments by he laid, and heaven all open to his view. Mad to possess, himself he threw on the defenseless lovely maid. But oh, what envious gods conspire to snatch his power, yet leave him the desire. Nature's support, without whose aid she can no humane being give, itself now wants the art to live. Faintness its slackened nerves invade. In vain the enraged youth essayed to call his fleeting vigor back. No motion 'twill from motion take. Excess of love his love betrayed. In vain he toils, in vain commands. The insensible fell weeping in his hands. In this so amorous cruel strife, where love and fate were too severe, the poor Lysander, in despair, renounced his reason with his life. Now all the brisk and active fire that should the nobler part inflame, unactive, frigid, dull became, and left no spark for new desire. Not all her naked charms could move or calm that rage that had debauched his love. Chloris, returning from the trance which love and soft desire had bred, her timorous hand she gently laid, or guided by design or chance, upon that fabulous Priapus, that potent god, as poets feign. But never did young shepherdess, gathering of fern upon the plain, more nimbly draw her fingers back, finding beneath the verdant leaves a snake. Then Chloris her fair hand withdrew, finding that god of her desires disarmed of all his powerful fires, and cold as flowers bathed in the morning dew. Who can the nymph's confusion guess? The blood forsook the kinder place, and strewed with blushes all her face, which both disdain and shame express. And from Lysander's arms she fled, leaving him fainting on the gloomy bed. Like lightning through the grove she hies, or Daphne from the Delphic god. No print upon the grassy road she leaves to instruct pursuing eyes. The wind that wantoned in her hair, and with her ruffled garments played, discovered in the flying maid all that the gods e'er made of fair. So Venus, when her love was slain, with fear and haste flew o'er the fatal plain. The nymph's resentments none but I can well imagine and condole. But none can guess Lysander's soul, but those who swayed his destiny. His silent griefs swell up to storms, and not one god his fury spares, He cursed his birth, his fate, his stars, but more the shepherdess's charms, whose soft, bewitching influence had damned him to the hell of impotence.